ProWrestlingSheet.com.
Triple H, head honcho. How does it feel seeing all of this? I mean, it was your idea. All of this was your idea to start the Performance Center. It's got to be wild for you to be here now, a few hours before the first full 2-hour live taping on USA Network.
Yeah, it's amazing. And look, idea-wise, but conceptually, just so many people have made this happen and this place and this moment and where we are. This was the game-changing moment to me for the WWE from a behind the scenes of what we do and what we are as a brand in ring. The changing of what we do. 80% of the main roster right now, and I hate even using that term, but Raw, SmackDown came through here. You forget it over time that Seth Rollins was the first NXT champion, that Braun Strowman had never stepped into the ring before when he walked in these doors, that Alexa Bliss, same thing, had never stepped through these ropes.
New Day.
New Day. There's just so many talent, and to see what it has created already, what it's created now with NXT as a brand, and now having 3 distinct brands of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, and performing at that level, and to think of what the future will be, and have one here, one in London, more coming. It's been incredible growth, but it really is the backbone of what we do in the future,
You mentioned as you walked out here with your film music and smoke.
Yeah, they said, we're going to play your music. I'm like, is that necessary? They know I'm here.
It was necessary. It was cool to see. Don't worry. You mentioned the fact that NXT is no longer developmental in your eyes, not a developmental brand. Do you think that because it's largely been called developmental or known as developmental, that it's going to be hard to train the wrestling fan to not think of it that way anymore?
Yeah, look, I think in some way it's just going to take time. But I think we'll just make it happen. And there was, along this way, this hadn't been like this easy transition where everybody's like, I could see that coming. Along the way, everybody said, well, this will never work. The fact that it is what it is and people are getting called to Raw and SmackDown, that's the doom of it. It's going to fall apart because they can't maintain this, they can't that. It's actually part of the success of it. I think that at the end of the day, there's a little bit of it's just a different term, but if you were to say college football and then the NFL, right? Not everybody in college football is going to make it to the NFL, but there are some people that actually like college football better than they like the NFL. You cannot look at the college football and say college football is developmental for the NFL. Right?
Totally.
That's
Yep,
really what it is. Doesn't change your enjoyment of it, and it doesn't change the fact if you could create college football, and if you didn't work out in the imagine college football, if you went to the NFL, you played 2 seasons, things weren't working out, they cut you, and you got to go back and play for Notre Dame, right? Like, that would be incredible.
Yeah.
If you could create that system, that would in some way almost be ideal. That's what we're trying to create here, and have this system where Raw, SmackDown, NXT, they all have their distinct flavors, feel, all of it. Maybe NXT will always have that sort of the band going back and playing in the theater and not playing in the arena or whatever that is. But to have that, to step back, to change, to reinvent yourself as a talent, to go from Raw to SmackDown to NXT and reinvent yourself, to go to England or Japan or someplace else, reinvent yourself even further, come back into this. Like, the ability to do that and create a career for yourself that is much longer, much more meaningful, and much more meaningful at a higher level, because you have that ability to not burn yourself out where people are like, oh my God, if I see this guy one more time, right? Like, sometimes you feel bad for talent because it's like, you've been here so long, you're awesome, but like, I've seen it, and now you almost need to step to something else, go away for a little bit in my eyes, so that you come back 6 months later and I go, oh, I love this guy, Yeah,
like Fandango has done. I mean, Breezango wasn't gone like that long, but he was gone for long. Yeah. Tyler Breeze wasn't gone for a long time, but Fandango, he was gone for a while, and I really feel like this move over to NXT has really freshened him up.
Yeah, I mean, Killian Dane.
Yep.
And I think you're going to see that more and more, the ability for that to happen, but not only for that to happen where, you don't have to take a guy and just go, hey, we're going to sit you down for 6 months and you're just going to be out of the ring for 6 months and then we're going to bring you back. We can give them some rest time, but then we can bring them here. We can schedule them in a particular way, and we can give them a fresh coat of paint. You can come back here, reinvent yourself. Things don't work one place. You can go someplace else, be something else. You can be over here and be something great. And you know what? You get two guys that they burn out their welcome here, but they've been singles guys. You could bring them here and make them a tag and do something crazy with them here and bring them back and do something else. You want a fresh coat of paint on a guy that's been a good guy forever, you bring him here and make him, evil and crazy, put an edge on him, or do whatever you're going to do. Yeah. But you have the ability to do so many other things and fresh coat of paint it and see a character or a version of somebody that you thought, man, I never saw that coming from this guy, and man, this is crazy good. And you have this amazing facility where if somebody wants to do that, they can come here, they can go to London, that facility, they can really think tank, bake something out fresh, come up with something new, try it on camera, try it in there, try it in here, figure out what it is, flesh it out, make it into something more. This is the think tank of creating all of it, know?
Yep. Another person who trained here that recently kind of has been making waves in wrestling is Cain Velasquez. Yeah. How do you feel about him, branching out in the world of professional wrestling, and would you like to see him come back eventually?
Yeah, I think it's exciting. Look, he's at such an early place in it, right? Like, he came in here, he had some ability, we talked about stuff. This is kind of one of those careers. It's tough to say, hey, I want to be a WWE superstar, but I'd still like to fight over here a little bit. And I almost feel like if you say that, you're almost not going to do one well.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
You almost got to put it down. That's a conversation I had with Rhonda a long time ago. Like, you gotta have one out of your system to get to the other one. And I think that I think he was testing the waters when he came here. I think he then has done a few other things in Mexico and with AAA and had a moment that I think, there are points in time where people catch the bug for this. And I think while he enjoyed it, he was here training and thinking, man, this would be something that'd be cool to do. I think those other opportunities kind of gave him the bug. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes now for him. It's hard, a little older, injuries, right? You don't know.
Yeah,
but
totally.
And that's the unknown. But if he's passionate about it and he dedicates himself to it 100%, then I think there's a lot of things he could do. And, he's a good guy. I like him. The conversations we've had, he's a pro, and I like that. And so we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
I mean, it's easy to look at Brock Lesnar and be like, oh, I want to do that, but it takes a lot more effort to actually do it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that come in, I've seen this for years since the moment I started training with Killer Kowalski, that they look at it and they go, that looks like fun. And then they get in the ring, and the first time they fall down, they go like, I'm never doing that again. It's just a different world. It's a lot more goes into this. Credit to the talent that do this on a day-to-day basis. They make it look easy. They make it look simple. It's easy to sit on your couch and be an armchair quarterback that says, like, oh, if I was Tom Brady, I'd have done this. Same thing in our business. Yeah. Like, oh, those guys botched that, man. They're rotten. Yeah, good luck doing it, buddy.
Yeah. That's honestly, I hate even using the word botch because I know I couldn't do any of these things.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we are in there with fractions of an inch separating real from entertainment, and everybody putting their health and their well-being on the line to do what we do, and live, and no second take, no hey, do it over, not many people in the world can do that. I've worked Raw through the years. I've worked with actors and actresses from other things that when they get to our stuff and they're going to do a little backstage skit or something from another world with us, and you go like, we're going to have to go live, and they're like, what do you mean live? Like, live, like how long before it airs? Like, no, live, like live at the actual moment you're doing it. And, it's a different world, and that's just saying lines, like not, what we do is difficult. So the guys and girls that do this for a living, man, every day, they make it look very simple, but in reality, a lot goes into this, and it takes a lot to make it. Some people pick it up quick, but for every Rhonda that is the fastest learner I've ever seen in my life, there's people that are, 4, 5, 6 years into this, and they're just starting to be like, I'm just starting to feel comfortable doing this now. It takes a long time.
Absolutely. All right, well, I won't take up too much more of your time. Thank you so much.
Man, thank you for being here.
ProWrestlingSheet.com